Today, discover the three-tiered pricing structure that fills your slowest December nights with guaranteed minimums. Learn the 48-hour reach-out system that helps you convert local companies into confirmed party bookings. And master a simple pricing that eliminates decision paralysis, speeds up bookings, and makes sure you deliver good margins on your event. Hello and welcome to the Bar Business Podcast, where we help bar owners increase profits, attract loyal guests, and simplify operations so you can avoid burnout and finally enjoy your life outside of your bar. I'm your host, Chris Schneider, the Bar Business Coach. So today what we're going to talk about is a holiday booking formula. Yeah, we're into December now. It's time to get those holiday bookings, and guess what? Bars are not always the first place companies look for holiday bookings. But especially for the neighborhood bar segment, especially if you're a cocktail lounge place like that, there are tons of companies that will use bars for their holiday party. Now, here's the thing: if we really think about December, generally speaking, Friday, Saturday nights, you got holiday parties, you got people going out for the holidays, you're probably doing all right. I mean, a lot of people in December are pushing capacity Friday and Saturday night if we look across bars and restaurants. But you're not pushing capacity on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So how do we bring in those folks on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday? We go after corporate parties. We go after corporate holiday events. And the best part about these, and I used to love these when I had my bar, because we would have people come in for the office holiday party at, 3 p.m. on Tuesday, because they would make it a short day. They'd come in, they'd have some drinks. They all leave at 6. It doesn't even have to affect your nighttime business. And at the same time, it can help you bring in more business and have some guaranteed revenue through these holiday bookings. But here's the thing for most bars. Most bars are not going after that. They're not looking at, hey, can I get these parties? And why? Because as bars, we're not really event salespeople for the most part. I mean, you get into some bars, absolutely, they do a lot of event sales, but for the most part, we're not quite that type of folks. So how do we get these holiday parties? Well, what we want to look for is realizing, first and foremost, that we are set up for them, right? You have time, you have tables. That's all it takes. You don't have a private room? Well, maybe you can do a buyout, or maybe you have a nice nook in the corner you can put a party in. Maybe you can't do parties of 50 or 60, but you can easily do parties of 10 or 20. Now, I know some of you are saying, well, it's not nice enough. Well, you know what? People come into your bar. So clearly it's nice enough for people to come into your bar. So I don't think that's an excuse. Some people are going to say, well, my food's not good enough. Well, come up with a little bit of a holiday menu. Come up with a menu that you can give to these folks. And let's be honest. Some people like fancy food. I like fancy food. I love going out to eat and doing fine dining and all of that. But you know what I also like? I also like a burger at a neighborhood bar. I love dive bars. And I love fancy restaurants. So just because you don't think your food's good enough, I'm sure all of you listening to this could come up with an appetizer selection, an appetizer menu that was good food that people like. I mean, think about something like wings. People love wings. They're not difficult. They're not fancy, but people love them. So if you put some good appetizers together, you package it, you get it out there right, you can do amazing things. So let's talk about a 3-tier pricing structure you can use for these holiday bookings. And the way I like to look at it is you have your semi-private or, just some tables in the room. And we want to focus those on our really slow nights. So like Sunday to Wednesday, right? You're looking at 10, 20 people. You can charge them a food and beverage minimum for the reservation. I don't frankly like to on a regular basis, because especially if we can get them at that happy hour time before we're even impacting our evening crowd, it's just extra revenue, right? We just need to make a reservation with them to get them in the door. But we can work towards having minimums if we have a more private space available for those smaller groups. Now, our next tier we're going to look at is full venue buyouts, and we're going to separate that into 2 tiers, right? We have our non-peak tier and our peak tier. So non-peak is usually going to be Sunday through Wednesday. Peak's going to be Thursday through Friday. And, we're kind of talking about, that 6 to 10 or 5 to 8 type slot. On Saturday, I would even include, your afternoon, your 2 to 6 as a premium tier. Now, on those, if we're doing full venue buyouts, we want to get a minimum. Now, this is something I talk to bar owners about a lot. I do not believe that you should charge room rental rates, right? It's not $2,000 for the bar plus food and beverage. No. Set a minimum. How minimums work, if you're not familiar with these, if you have not used these before, it's saying, okay, yeah, I'll rent my whole bar to you on Friday night. I'll close down. You guys can have the bar all for yourselves. but I need to make $6,000. So your minimum $6,000, you either spend $6,000 or you don't. And if you spend $5,000, I charge you for $6,000. If you spend $6,000, I charge you for $6,000. If you spend $6,500, I charge you for $6,500. But what that's going to do, that's going to give you a floor of sales. It makes it worth being close to the public for this event. Now, one thing that we always want to do when we're talking to corporations, and this is true of all sales, think about every piece of software you buy. They go, hey, here's our free, here's our premium, here's our super premium, or here's a free, right? You always have like 3-4 options. And the sweet spot tends to be 3 because people will just pick the middle option more often than not. But it gives them some option, it gives them some pricing. And quite frankly, you can make that Friday, Saturday night, Saturday afternoon buyout so freaking expensive that you don't think anybody's going to take it because you really don't want them to. But if they did, hey, if I'm going to make double what I normally make on a Friday by closing Friday evening for you guys, it's absolutely worth it. So, but that top tier we make super expensive so that people get pushed to the second tier or the third tier. And the other thing we want to look at here is creating packages. So yeah, we have these tiers for kind of renting out the space or just barrier to entry, but we also want to have packages. Now, what's a package? Generally speaking, we want to put beer and wine, right? You could have a open bar included as part of your package. You could have food included as part of your package. It could be, here's a package and it's $25 per person and it's 3 appetizers. It's 20 people, 3 appetizers, in larger quantities, and everybody gets a couple drink coupons. You can do this all sorts of different ways. And quite frankly, it's going to really depend on your type of business and how you want to do it. But have some packages. So have your tiers for your space and just kind of minimums and what's what. And then have your tiers for your packages. With packages, have 3, 4, 5 of them, right? The more packages, almost the better. But again, we want something super expensive to make everything else look cheap. Now, how are we going to get these bookings? Well, we're going to do a 48-hour reach out blitz. So first thing to do, if you don't know the companies around you, go to Google and say, hey, what companies are around me? But more likely than not, if you've been in this business any length of time, you have regulars. Those regulars work for people. Probably some of your regulars own company. Probably some of your regulars, if you're in the neighborhood dive bar side, are like blue-collar guys that own companies. Those are the blue-collar guys that own companies in the dive bar side of things is a great way to get holiday bookings. But if you have office people that always come in for lunch, say, hey, guys, what are you doing for your Christmas party this year? Especially if you have like the secretary of the boss, right? We reach out to a great person to get that party booked for you. But work your regulars. But if you don't have regulars, hit Google. Now, when we hit Google, what are we going to do? We're going to send everybody an email and say, hey, do you need a space for a private party? There are different ways to lay out that email, obviously, but we're going to email them. We're going to reach out. And we're going to try to go from an email to a phone call. To them with an email, we follow up with a phone call. Once we get them on the phone, once we are actually talking to them, we just ask them, hey, what do you like? What do you want? What are you looking for? And we don't try to necessarily sell what we have. We try to listen to what they need. And then we say, yeah, I think I can help you. No, I don't think I can help you. I mean, you're always better off, and I do this a lot with my consulting, telling someone, no, I don't think this is going to be a good fit for you, than you are doing it and doing it poorly, right? And that's true for anything you do in business. So if you can't handle the party the way they want, just turn it down. But figure out their needs and then figure out whether or not you can do them and give them that information. But the big thing here with this 48-hour strategy, identify them, email them, follow up with a phone call, follow up with another phone call if you don't hear from them, hit them 3 times within 48 hours. Make sure they know that you want to talk to them, that you're curious, that you want to be helpful. And here's the other thing too, guys. This is the first week of December. The folks that are really good at planning, the larger companies, they probably already have their Christmas parties done. It's the smaller companies. It's the, mom and pop type places that don't. Those are going to be your highest potential targets. They're also just now starting to think about this because, Thanksgiving is over. It's time to plan the company Christmas party. But get in with them, talk to them, work your regulars, come up with tiered packages, both for your space, as far as minimums are concerned, whether or not you even have a minimum all the time, and then tiered packages for what you can offer these folks. Heck, run it through ChatGPT, have it make the verbiage for you. Take that over to Gemini, have it make some images for you. Like put together a little package, get it out there, and get those bookings. Do that this week, and you can make sure that you have the best December your bar has ever had. That about wraps it up for today. If you enjoyed today's insights, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a review. If you are ready to take your bar to the next level, schedule a strategy session with me by clicking the link in the show notes below. Until next time, have a great day, and we will talk again later.